pulling the wrist. Watch how I flip. Watch how I whip. I'm in the whip. Pulling the wrist. I never switch.
First opened in 2002, there's a look inside Ford Field here in downtown Detroit, the Motor City. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it, this crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions. 2 weeks have come and gone. It's off to week 3, and we're underway on EA Sports. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Here's Carter on 1st and 10. That's caught by the tight end, Irv Smith Jr. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 13 yards on the game's opening play.
They really love to get him into one-on-one opportunities, and this is one way. Work him out of the slot and create a mismatch. Who's going to cover him? Corner, safety, linebacker? He's got a way to beat all of those positions.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. On the run, it's Campbell. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first. Well, no slow start here. A couple nice chunk plays back-to-back.
I love the momentum that they're showing here early because they did it both ways, right? Threw the ball on 1st down for a nice chunk of yardage. Came right back and ran the ball. Looks like they got the defense set back on their heels. Let's see if they can keep this moving.
They'll run with the big man, Campbell. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
To throw on 2nd down. Carter going deep for Diggs. Got a man, it's caught at the 6-yard line. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory.
Brandon, we've both been around the game long enough that we know that in pregame, defenses are pretty amped up, aren't they? I mean, they're pounding lockers, and they can't wait to get out there. But when you hit them with some big pass plays early, it takes the starch right out of them.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. A great effort there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Vikings take the ball down the field and score on their opening drive. Point after, right down the middle. And that makes the score 7-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Oh, he's able to outmuscle him here as he pulls it in. It's a gain of 14 and a 1st down for Detroit. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive on their first series.
10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. It's a gain of 14 and a first down for Detroit.
First and 10 at the 45-yard line.
From Viking territory now, they'll come up first and 10 at the 45-yard line. They'll try the left side. Dobbins, and he's going to get stopped up quickly. Give him a yard down to the 43. Now I think we're going to get a timeout here. Yes, a timeout here as it looks like we've got a Lion that's shaken up. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. The run only got a yard. Here's second and 9.
And we got to get to the ball. Get to the ball. Let's keep moving. 49, guys. Mike, 49. Hey, watch it.
Working from the gun. It's Kaepernick. Kaepernick hit. Fumble. He lost the football. And the Vikings pick up the football. The 20. And they are going to bring this one back. It's a fumble return, a scoop and score for the Vikings. And he has great speed, defensive back speed. Once he got it and took off, there was no catching it.
And I know every team tells you to hustle no matter what the play, but there was no chance of catching him. Maybe if it had been a defensive tackle running with the ball, but not in this case.
The extra point up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line.
First and 10 at their own 19-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for first and 10.
Hey, check Mike, Mike 6. 65.
Shotgun snap now for Kaepernick. He'll get this one to Galladay. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
At the 50-yard line.
Second and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. Sims. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. The tally there, minus 2 yards, brings up third down. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game.
Check out.
From the gun, it's Kaepernick. And the throw there going to be incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on third down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on third down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. And this will be taken at the 13. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt. And the Vikings will be backed up deep to begin their drive as they take over 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They've got things going their way early. 14-0 lead and the football. 1st and 10. Back to throw is Carter. Throwing on 1st down. And Diggs has it. And he'll take this across the 25 before going out of bounds. 12 yards there. 1st down, Vikings. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. He can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Drop deep. Check 15. Check 15. Check 24. Check 24. Check 3. Check 3. Show it up.
Here's Campbell. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
Keep playing hard, fellas, all day. Woo! Let's get it.
Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks.
Watch the flag. Watch the flag. Watch the flag. Watch the flag.
Carter now, off the play fake. He's going to air one out. And that one is incomplete. And it also concludes quarter number 1. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. And now the punt team couldn't get ready in time, and this is going to be a delay. The Vikings send out their punter as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. Taken in at the 22. Nowhere to go that time. It's a 46-yard punt with a loss on the return. And the Lions will take over. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at
Stay positive, but at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer, and make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Now they run with Sims. But he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask.
Let's go.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep, and that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4, and that's going to make it 2nd and 14.
Here we go. Here we go. 6 yards. We don't want this.
Kaepernick going to throw. Open man, he's got him, the tight end, Hawkinson. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Check 31, check 31. Go, go. Slam, slam.
On 3rd down, it's Sims, and they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. A 3-yard loss. 4th down now.
They tried to run right into the teeth of the defense on 3rd down, but looked like those teeth were pretty sharp.
They were having absolutely none of it, stuffed them for a loss.
Yeah, couldn't get any leverage up front and move people aside in order to run the ball.
So 3 drives now for this offense, and that field goal gives them their first 3 points.
So if you're an offensive coordinator and you're averaging a point a drive, you're in the wrong line of work, aren't you? You got to find a way to unlock the key to these defenses and put some big points on the board.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage. The big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22.
That's what I do. 53.
Throwing again. Carter. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
3 down. Under 10. 10.
Carter on 3rd down. He's going to float this one deep right side. And almost picked off. I guess the good news for them now, it's 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
The Lions take over 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line.
Let's go.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And it's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts. They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
I got you, son. I got you, son.
On second down, here's Kaepernick. Open man is Galladay, complete. A game there of 30 big ones. Obviously, they're not where they want to be right now on the scoreboard. Big plays like that, though, that'll trend them in the right direction.
Yeah, a few more like that, they'll be right back in the game. And if they can continue to do that, maybe they'll inspire their defense as well. They'll get a few stops.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Here's Kaepernick. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. No gain on the screen there. It's 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. They'll toss it out to Sims. 22 yards there, a 1st down. Nothing too fancy there, a simple toss left, but for whatever reason, the defense, they didn't seem ready for it.
Let me continue on with your thought right there, because after the play was over, I kept my eyes on the defenders. Watch them get off the ground, going back to the huddle, shaking their heads and kind of pointing to each other like, what just happened there? I think you were onto something.
Here's Kaepernick to throw. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you'd better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
On 2nd down now. It's Sims, and he'll get this one down to about the 17. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Brings up 3rd down and 9.
We've got a 14-3 ball game with 2 minutes left in the opening half.
He wasn't ready.
And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
We get slap happy up here sometimes. And he will be very close to a 1st down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down. The offense here not budging. They're going to fight for it on 4th and inches. They'll run it with Sims. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown on the season as his guys are back within a single score. Extra point splits the uprights, and that makes it a 14-10 ball game. Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of 1st downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Looking for Diggs, and it's intercepted. Picked by Tracy Walker. And they will finally get him, but not until he's all the way down inside the 15-yard line.
I think that interception happened for two reasons. Quarterback gets outside the pocket and panics a little bit, and receiver doesn't make sure he's absolutely in an open spot. So there's a guy lurking, took the ball from him.
Yeah, so don't wave your arms, right, as a receiver if you're not wide open?
Got to know that you're open. Otherwise, just don't do it.
They'll run on first down. Sims. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. A great effort there. His second touchdown of the game, his third on the year. And the Lions have taken the lead. Extra point right down the middle. And it's now 17-14. Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And now with still more than a minute to go in what's been a tight game, you figure we'll try to see them move the ball downfield.
And remember, they get the kickoff to start the second half, so this is a golden opportunity for them to go down there and put up a couple of sixes back-to-back. What a momentum swing that would be.
Yeah, you might be able to get a 2-for-1 without ever even giving up the football. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Here's 2nd and 8. Open man is Cameron Batson. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Check 4, check 4. Watch the ship. Watch the ship, watch the ship.
Now Carter from the gun, he'll throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Back to throw. Carter. And the pressure gets to him again. And the Lions quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Here's Carter operating from the gun. And that is incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. And where will this be spotted? The side judge says it went out just across midfield.
At their own 46-yard line.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. They're starting to pull away with this one. Early on that first quarter, they didn't look so great offensively. What has changed?
Sometimes it's just a matter of doing what you plan to do better. Sometimes you just put that all together and you execute. Other times it's just a simple adjustment in your game plan, finding a spot that maybe was a little weaker than maybe you thought, and going to that. So many different things, so many different ways, but right now, you got to like what they're doing. They have put distance between themselves and their opponent.
Looking to add on here in the second quarter. So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. He made his first, this from 47 yards out. And this one is right down the middle. And they stretch the lead to 6. It's 20-14 now. Still a little bit of time left here in the second quarter, but they do get 3 before the half and expand that lead.
And they have to be happy about that. And we haven't met a team yet that doesn't put an emphasis on trying to get points on the board in the last 2 minutes of a half. They'll be real excited to have those up on the board.
And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Likely time for just one final play, and then it'll be off to the locker room to talk about how they can erase this deficit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at it and go, well, maybe you take a shot here. Maybe you get some momentum going into the half. What's the flip side of that? You do something crazy, quarterback gets hit, ball comes free, and now you're down an even bigger margin. Go ahead and take this one, go to the locker room, start over.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Back to throw is Carter. A final shot before break. They'll get this complete to Batson. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. So we have reached halftime in what's a 6-point game at the break. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach, the Lions in the lead, and they're going to get the football first as well as the second half is underway. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told, as he's taken down back shy of the 20. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They have the lead now. They'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace, because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
Now Kaepernick throwing on 2nd down. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming. So negative yardage, a loss of 3 on 2nd down, and that leads to a tough 3rd down call. To throw, Kaepernick. Sliding out of the pocket. He's got a first down and more past the 30. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. Able to make something out of nothing there. 17 yards and a first down.
First and 10 at the 33-yard line.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
You ain't got nothing. Hey, check Mike, Mike 6, Mike 6. Hey, watch the slant, watch the slant. Mike 6, Mike 6. Whoa. It's our time.
To throw is Kaepernick. To the right and complete to Galladay. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. The end result, 21 yards.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 46. Here's a run on first down that won't even get back to the line of scrimmage. He will lose a yard, 2nd and 11. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
Brings up 2nd and 11 at the 47-yard line.
Here we go. Henry, 6. Hey, here we go.
Again, they run with Sims. The second down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
You can't block me. Like 6. Like 6. Watch the out. Watch. Check, 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 check. Check, check, check.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. They'll find Galladay. That's complete. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 33.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
He used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
Here's a throw right side, taken in by his tight end.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. It's a gain of 10 for the Lions and a first down.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. Now Johnson. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
They go to Johnson again. He pushes forward for maybe 3 down to the 6-yard line. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
And they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
And he has the first down before he's tackled at the 5. Just a yard, but that's all they needed. And by the slimmest of margins, it'll be 1st and goal. So another 3rd down conversion, and now they've got a 1st and goal. They'll run here with Sims. And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal.
That didn't just feel like good defense there. That felt like pride, didn't it? He's already gotten into the end zone twice, trying to get there for a 3rd time. No one likes to have the hat trick against them.
Now Sims. And he's going to take it in for a Lion touchdown. Taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Lions are able to extend their lead. So the Lion offense staying on the field as they're going to try for 2. Kaepernick now to throw. In trouble, and he'll go down back at the 12. Tried to roll out, make a play outside of the pocket, but couldn't get it done.
When you don't have a lot of space for your receivers to operate, and down there it's really condensed when you're snapping the ball from the 2-yard line, rolling out, you extend a play, but you don't necessarily open up better avenues for people. And on that play, there's just nowhere to go with the ball, and they end up getting sacked.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half two.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use, just something to get you off to a quick start.
They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on 2nd and inches. Again, it's Jackson as he'll stay on the ground. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down. On 3rd down, this is Jackson. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out.
He's checking.
Carter now throwing on 4th down. And no, it's incomplete. The Vikings unable to convert here on 4th. And the Lions will get the football back in terrific field position. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Check 52. Wide. Get wide.
Now Kaepernick. Open man is Higgins. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts. That's going to leave them with just 1 remaining here in this 4th quarter. Able to get 7 on that 1st down pass play. 2nd and 3.
Switch. Kill. Turn up. Kill. Turn up. Watch the air.
Now Kaepernick. This is caught. A good pickup there, 21 yards. Quite the turnaround from a week ago where he threw 4 interceptions. He hasn't had an interception this game, and he told us during the week, my goal, goose egg. He's achieving that so far.
And what we're seeing is a guy that you can win with, all right? Because anyone who can make that type of an adjustment and shake off a really horrendous week the week before and come back and play.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. A 3-yard touchdown run. And the Lions are able to extend their lead. Trying to bust out of that losing funk, and these fans have to like this. And, all right, fellas, this is more like it.
And I know that if this holds up after the game, they're going to give the fans a lot of credit being at home, getting the support. But you and I both know it goes deeper than that. They had to get it together in their own facility, look each other in the eye and say, okay, what's it going to take to break this losing streak? And they really came together with a good week of practice.
And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line.
First and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And last time out, went for it on 4th down, turned it over, gave them great field position, turned it to 6 points, so they've got to recover here, Charles.
It's amazing.
Hit from behind, and he's going to be driven down. Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Looking to throw. Carter. And a big loss falls here as he's taken down.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Needs something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. Back to throw. Carter. And they're going to sack him again. The 5th time they've gotten him today, and this one results in a safety. So a failure there to get rid of the football. I don't know in the end that it's going to matter much here with this game, but it yields another 2 points.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. It may not matter a ton with the deficit that's already there, but like my old coach used to say, it sure ain't going to help.
It doesn't help indeed. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. Been a very strong performance for them, really, on both sides of the football. The turnover on downs the most recent example, and now, obviously, they're in a great spot here.
Yeah, if you're over on the bench right now, you're shaking hands with your team, you're hugging them, give them a little dap. Been a big, big performance for them. Now you just don't get careless. Take care of the ball on the way out.
Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets them a first down. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 47. They run the counter. Sims. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. A loss of 2 there. Second down. When this offense gathers to watch the tape, they're going to like a lot of what they saw. They put up big numbers, but they might fast forward through that last play.
Oh, there won't be any fast forwarding, partner. I've sat in those sessions before. You end up spending more time on the bad plays than you do on the good ones. It's just the nature of coaches. But I know sitting in that room, when you've had a big game, the night that they've had, you don't want to hear that. You just want to focus on the good stuff.
That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And it's third down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Kaepernick now on 3rd and goal. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 35. And he'll get this one out to the 50 to the midfield stripe. 3rd and long that time. He was trying to make something happen, but a little too risky.
Well, the field tilted on him. And what I mean by that is what you said. 3rd and long. Got to push it downfield to try and pick up the first down. Defensive backs live for this situation, and they took advantage of the young man right there.
So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. Carter throwing to start the drive. And he's got this one complete to Callaway. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 10 yards, and it's good for a Viking first down. Now Carter on first down. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done.
SOS, SOS, SOS.
Looking to throw. Carter. Well, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Trey Flowers picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Remember, throughout my career here in defensive coaches always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. Well, they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. It is pin your ears back time indeed. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Here's Carter. From the gun, he'll throw. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked by Tracy Walker. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And with the defense out of timeouts, powerless to stop the clock, this should just be a couple of kneel downs.
Mike, 6. You can't block me. You can't block me.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down. So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.